Mana, hello. I assume Vorgoth's not far.
We have her, Rook. We have her. We know exactly what she's planning.
The professor asked us to research the artifact that came into the possession of Johanna Hezenkos.
She carries a gloaming lantern.
There you are.
They were fashioned in ages past by unscrupulous necromancers. The lanterns steal and concentrate life.
Johanna could use it to leech life from hundreds at a time. An endless source of power.
I hate to say it, but it's sort of clever.
Johanna was never short on cleverness, but we found her.
She has returned to Blackthorn Manor.
Hezenkos intends to hold a soiree.
That can't be her whole plan.
No, but I propose a small group infiltrate Johanna's lair while she's distracted and destroy her lantern.
Let's do it.
Vorgoth and I must return to the necropolis.
Hunt well.
If only we could make Johanna see reason.
You tried before. She seems stubborn.
Perhaps that's why she attained immortality, while I quake on the threshold. If I make my own bid for lichdom. Oh, it's no use pretending this hasn't stirred up that old dread of my own mortality.
I'm always here to talk about it. You know that, right?
It's a comfort, darling. Truly, but... Oh, Johanna was never beset by these sort of fears.
Little fear's healthy. You'll feel better once we crash her lair and destroy that lantern. Promise. Okay, so the plan is basically to sneak around, find Hezenkos' lantern, and smash it. That's quite a crowd over in the manor.
Johanna's gathering. If she's mingling there, we'll be spotted. Fortunately, we have someone who could pass as a servant.
Nothing livens up a party like having a few undead around.
It always lends them a certain ambience. Right, Manfred. You're to find Johanna's guests and help us gather information on where her workshop might be. We'll be watching in case anything occurs.
Something's going to occur.
Once we find and destroy Johanna's lantern, we'll end whatever she's planning. Hopefully before she introduces the lantern to her guests.
There should be enough time for Manfred to blend in as a servant.
Let's find a place inside to observe him, quietly.
Right. Let's find another way in.
Johanna's last guests must already be in attendance.
There's a lot of people here. Hezenkos must be planning to drain their souls with her lantern.
But what's it all for?
Raise more undead, I'd wager. But no ordinary revival would require such a massive store of magic.
Sounds like the party's in that main hall where we confronted Hezenkos.
Perfect. We can watch Manfred discreetly from the balconies.
And see if Hezenkos has that lantern on her.
There's Manfred. And Johanna.
But no lantern.
Now, you were saying about a shrine in the manor.
Yes, a shrine revealed by a spectral tome, which, as an expert, I could read if our host ever lets me into the library.
An ancestral shrine? I could question the deceased there about the location of Johanna's lantern.
Well, if the book can lead us to the shrine, let's hit the library.
I'm just waiting for our host's grand announcement.
My invitation.
The library's to the east, right? Where we closed Hezenkos's portal into the Fade.
Why'd she come back to this mansion anyway?
Johanna must have a workshop hidden here. Likely where she's prepared whatever she plans to empower with this lantern.
Undead, coming this way.
Johanna's creatures. We must deal with them quickly. I'd expected Johanna to post more guards.
Maybe she didn't want to scare her guests. Let's see if we can find that book pointing to the ancestral shrine. What about this? Oh, it's haunted.
Ah, there's our spectral tome. Well done.
It's not opening.
One must be delicate. That guest of Johanna's claimed to be an expert in spectral literature.
And was interested in the shrine. Let's have Manfred hand him the book, see what he says. You waiting for us? Manfred, take this tome to the man asking about the shrine, please.
Don't worry. We'll watch from the balcony.
What's this? The Spectral Guide to Blackthorn Manor? There now. I only want to look up one thing. There is an ancestral shrine in the northwest wing.
Perfect. Let's go to the shrine.
Yes, the deceased there should be most helpful in finding Johanna's lantern. This way to the shrine.
So many people. Is Hezen Koss really popular or something?
Johanna never made friends easily. I doubt that's changed. Her experiments, however, always commanded a crowd.
Including you?
Always. Until they began to take turns that troubled me.
The shrine's locked.
We must find a... Manfred?
What's he got there? Is this a key to the shrine?
Excellent, Manfred. Oh my. A body from the House of the Verheims, prepared during the Storm Age.
You're adorable when you get excited about things like this.
Well, who wouldn't be, darling? Such a rare find.
Time to find Hezen Koss. He's all yours, Emric.
By flame and seal, by light and flood, open your eyes once more.
Who dares disturb?
Friends to the dead.
Friends, this one was abandoned, lost.
Emric, it's getting noisy.
He's unusually obstinate. Speak! Where is Hezen Koss?
Prove yourselves. What claim have you to the deceased? A willing dead companion. This one concedes. Hezen Koss makes a thing that should not be. Red tapestry. Look there.
Rook, did you hear that? Manfred just...
I know. Also, we should move.
Oh, he can talk. Manfred, say something else. Come now, you just spoke.
We have to go.
Yes, yes.
More undead.
Johanna's work. They're on the right track.
Here's our red tapestry. This wall looks... Ha! Secret door.
Manfred, could you please squeeze through and open the door from the other side? Yes! Aha! I knew I didn't imagine him speaking.
So Manfred speaks. That'll get the other Watchers talking.
And they said a simple wisp could only grow so much. I knew he was learning quickly outside the necropolis, but this level of complexity is remarkable.
And that's good, right?
Harding, it is magnificent.
Well, I can't wait to chat more with Manfred.
Good work, Manfred.
Hope this leads to where Hezenkos is keeping that lantern.
I can only imagine what she's planning to use it for. Another shrine.
Did anyone else feel a draft just now?
This must lead to Johanna's workshop.
What's that through the wall?
Oh my word!
How'd she get something that big in here?
I thought you and your little friends might worm your way into my party for Karen.
Johanna, even half-lich, you can't control something this massive.
Little thing.
That glow on the skeleton up there. That's Hezenkos' lantern.
She's going to use the life stored in it to reanimate that monstrosity. Quickly, we must reach the lantern.
This is a revenge list.
Johanna was never one to refuse a long and complex grudge.
People from the party. You.
Unsurprising.
Manfred.
How dare she?
Was a lot of undead.
You may as well beat me with a fuel and a bonfire.
Seeing why Hezenkos failed that Lich morality test.
We must make haste to that lantern. Unbelievable! Johanna's stolen a chamber from the Grand Necropolis and transposed it under Blackthorn Manor.
How do you steal a part of a city? That's impressive.
The Necropolis' walls here are still intact. No wonder we couldn't sense what she's been creating.
Don't think I can't sense your
Oh, I wish Manfred had stayed above.
He'll be fine. We'll handle this.
Manfred, there you are.
And can you release that ladder?
Thank you, Manfred. Now find somewhere safe.
There's the lantern. You're gonna free the spirits inside.
We must, before we can destroy it.
Like back when you were freeing those spirits Hezenkos trapped in the manor. That took a lot out of you.
I must try, Rook.
Emmerich!
There are too many trapped spirits! I'm sorry. I can't. Another lash of power might end me.
Coward!
What's that, Volkaren?
Afraid to chance death for your precious spirits? For all your fine words on the subject, only I had the courage to risk my life for our art.
He's still got twice your backbone.
I see Valkaran somehow did net himself a paramour.
Johanna! Listen to me! You're right. I've never overcome fear of that final dark. I miss having a friend that could.
Yes. Always the idealist.
I'm sorry Lichdom failed you. I swear I would have helped you had you come to me. But puppeting this creature...
Puppet? Puppet? Do you think I'm staying a failed lich? I won't command my greatest creation! I will become it! Scoffing colleagues, interfering Templars, inept rivals. You all have a place in my heart. And tonight you will fuel my ascension at the cost of your miserable lives.
Move!
You think you can stop me? Once I get rid of you, I will merge with my greatest work and conquer this city!
Eric, can she do that?
Yes! She's attempting full possession with the life of the people here.
We need to stop Hezenkos long enough to destroy that lantern.
With that much light inside it, the backlash could...
We don't have a choice.
Once I destroy you wretches, my union with my creation will be complete. I can't believe you brought your ridiculous pet skeleton with you.
His name is Manfred.
Aren't you persistent? Fine! I'll go down there myself.
About time.
Silence! Crush you myself if I must. It's touching that you brought your new friends to die with you, Valkaran. I'll be sure to bury you and your new lover in the same tomb.
isn't working. We can't break the lantern.
You think I'd leave myself vulnerable to you? Enough playing! Your pointless lives will fuel my triumph!
That does not feel good.
She's draining life from us. We must find shelter.
Right. You can't free the spirits in that lantern.
It might kill me and not even work. No living thing can approach it and... Manfred! Come back!
Any last words for Karen before I... You miserable little...
Manfred!
Show her what a real necromancer can do.
By the spirits bound here, night and shadow, light and blood.
What are you doing?
Let your chains loosen. Let the fade draw close.
You'll never succeed, you old fool!
I release you to the air.
No! You small-minded...
Emmerich, how's Manfred holding together?
We must go to the necropolis. His body could only take so much. But I underestimated him, Rook. What bravery in the heart of the dead. And how he grew. Manfred disobeyed me beautifully. He was his own soul at the end.
Can you bring him back?
I will ask.
Emric Volkaren. You were not expected so soon.
Hail the lords of the necropolis.
Hail the Watchers. What has brought you?
My lord, I come regarding Manfred, my fallen companion.
Yes, there are ways to return his spirit. But should you do this, Lichdom falls from your grasp.
What? Why?
Lichdom is long. If I'm to stand outside death, I must make peace with others passing through it.
What would we otherwise become? How many exceptions till tyranny? Revive him and remain mortal. Or let him slumber and join us.
Emmerich.
Manfred chose to help us. Am I too weak to accept his well-earned rest? I yearn for Lichdom Rook, but leap into something greater, that everlasting light. Do I revive him and live out my days? Or do I honor death by letting him rest and protect this world through immortality?
Mortality's a hard price, but you'd miss Manfred.
Oh, of course I would. But a Watcher should be more accepting of loss, of grief, of his own death in turn.
You're braver than you know, Emmerich. You've always risked your life. Against Hezen Kos, against the gods.
Death's abyss always recedes with someone to brave it for.
I think facing a lot of things would be easier if Manfred was back.
Oh, he was fearless. He has so much potential, Rook. So far to grow.
Then help him do it.
You're absolutely right. I'll need your help. Rest easy, Manfred. We'll soon have you back amongst the living.
I should check on Emric and see if he's ready to bring back Manfred.
I've made my preparations, Rook. Will you help me restore Manfred to the world of the living?
I pledge assistance as a watcher to this work.
Let us walk these paths together with the dead. Thank you. We must go to the necropolis once you're ready.
You've news?
Fair omens.
Greetings once more.
Well, never re-raised the dead. I defer to the senior watcher.
I've never tried it either. In any other circumstance, this would be fascinating. We'll need assistance finding Manfred's wisp and drawing it back into his body. By pact and pledge, I seek an audience. By light and breath, let wisdom come.
You too?
Allow me to give you their full and proper names, the keepsake of ages and far-sighted curio.
I didn't know those were your names when we met before. You're two of our oldest spirits.
We've watched long enough to be caught in paper thoughts.
Not that we've sought much fame.
Friends, my assistant, my ward, Manfred, sacrificed himself to save us.
We'd heard you'd abandoned Lichdom to bring him back. Your work, your dreams.
You paid the price. But it seems there are many flickers of curiosity in the Fade.
And only one you seek. Draw his wisp near. Speak.
Can I help?
Yes, please. Think of Manfred. Tell me something you felt about him. Concentrate.
He was always excited to be around you, Emric. If spirits can learn to love, he loved you.
In the sea of the Fade, there are wakes left by our passing. Our desires, our fears. I leave this beacon for you, Manfred. Follow my voice. Return to me! Please. Manfred?
It worked.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful indeed.
Thanks for stitching that seam on my coat, Fred. It was coming loose. And nice new threads yourself.
Thank you. Yes, we needed something to mark him as an apprentice around the necropolis.
It's a good fit. See you around.
Yes!
How are you doing, Manfred?
Alive! He's excited for his training. Manfred's spellcraft is coming along nicely, more or less. Some undead have the potential to cast magic. I believe his was unlocked by his journey through the Fade.
What was that like?
Dunno. You mean you don't know? Dunno. We must work on that enunciation. Why don't you fetch the primer?
There goes our magic-flinging skeleton son.
I wouldn't go so far. Certainly I've a responsibility to educate him, and he'll need moral guidance. Most spirits do. But did you know? Yesterday, he said the most amusing thing while...
He's got your eyes.
As he grows, Manfred will better learn to take care of himself. I won't worry so much when I pass on.
How do you feel about that last part?
I have moments of regret for what Lichdom might have been. But none would make me exchange this for anything. Johanna?
Vad, Karen?
Until we find a suitable method of penance in the necropolis,
Pah.
you're to be confined under the eye of a watcher, lest you slip your bonds.
How magnanimous of you to volunteer.
A challenge for us both. Was this your ultimate goal? All that death and destruction in order to rule the capital?
It would have been magnificent. Navarra, bowing to a leader who'd make use of its greatest works.
Your enormous bone construct would have destroyed half of Navarra City.
Well, there would have to have been some rebuilding before progress could begin. It's a simple test.
I am not loosening any of the wards around you simply to see whether you can learn new spells again.
Do you have any idea how frustrating that was, Valkarin? To be completely frozen in my spellcraft? And I could have fixed it by channeling through the skeletal construct that you destroyed. Speaking of which, what have you done with it?
That subject remains closed, Johanna.
Yes, yes, we've been through this. How articulate.
So you're a skull now?
I refuse to explain my condition yet again to one of Valkarin's roommates.
I have my own room. Hey, is a skull still called a corpse when you're just a skull? Okay, I'll ask Emric.
I can't demand your repentance, Johanna, but perhaps reflection beckons.
Reflection? On trying to fix the great failure of Navarra? The finest necromancers in the world, and what do we teach them? To loiter down in the necropolis. Navarra could be an empire. We could raise armies of corpses to slay our enemies and conquer new shores!
You'd make us another Tevinter.
Nonsense. I'm sure we'd do better. You have a question about negative topological functions?
Yes, please. Emric said it was okay to ask about this.
Do you always listen to that milksop? Well, at least you've come to a proper necromancer. First, I assume you've learned to cascade your spell weaves around wave inversions?
Oh, really? But wouldn't the explosive radius... I'd never try it.
That's cowardice speaking. Cast it aside. Valkar, keep your manservant away from me.
Manfred is an apprentice mage now.
That'll end well. Teaching a spirit of curiosity to conjure flame.
Manfred's learned his lesson after the incident with the rug.
What do you see in that thing?
Why are you so angry at Emric?
Because the bleeding heart keeps interfering with my work.
Your crappy magic killed people.
If you find me objectionable, do what Valkarin never could. Destroy my remains and end it all.
Emric said that would let your spirit escape. Are you trying to escape?
Of course I'm trying to... No.
You've been quiet on your collaboration with the Venatori.
They were only useful for information or the occasional artifact. The rest of the time, the intolerable wretches kept going on about their wine cellars and summer houses.
They sound akin to some of Navarra's nobility, to be honest.
Depressing, isn't it? So, Valkarin, you've achieved the impossible.
Defeating you?
I meant you somehow seduce that impudent whelp following you around.
That's not... my relationship with Rook is a private concern.
Why he enjoys your mouldering presence is beyond me.
Mouldering? You're a mere 2 years younger than I am, Johanna. 2!
Well, I think one of us wears it more obviously. You? You must be so pleased with yourself.
What the? Hezenkos?
Of course it's me! Reduced to explain myself to Emric Volkaren's companions.
How are your remains still animate?
A lich isn't so easily destroyed.
Oh, even a failed lich.
A meaningless phrase. Anyhow, if you must know, your Mourn Watcher compatriots found me. Only my skull was intact in the rubble you left of my grand creation.
Why are you here?
Those Mourn Watchers continue to forbid so-called immoral necromancy. As if anything within our grasp should be forbidden. The petty alarmists intend to use my abilities for some sort of penitence. Volkaren will be by with a sheaf of lectures, I'm sure.
I'm surprised Emmeric's talking to you after you hurt Manfred.
I didn't force him to turn down lichdom for a single wretched whisk. Who'd think the man would give that up for? Anyhow, if Volkaren brought it back, the miserable skeleton must bring him some joy. You there!
You don't actually know my name, do you?
Have you seen my hand?
Ah.
I could find it if I weren't smothered under all these wards. The thing must be wandering around somewhere. The young Watcher again.
At your service.
There's those necropolis-begotten manners. Look at you, a necromancer, wasting the prime of their life, solving the problems of others. You'd have been taught much differently if you'd been my apprentice.
You have quite a grudge against the Moon Watch.
I wisely cast off all their talk of obligations to the long-gone dead. But I assume you're more a traditionalist watcher, like Volkaren. Oh, I admit he's skilled enough. If only the man possessed any vision. I still can't believe Volkaren snagged himself a paramour. At his age.
Hey, leave him alone.
Astounding. You're actually fond of him. Well then, don't let me keep you from that decrepit popinjay.